Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian. Welcome back to Crusader Kings 3, Wards and Wardens. Alright, so remember in today's episode we're going to be doing this scheme to abduct the boy Kaiser. So we'll see how well this works and what options that'll open up if we succeed. Still trying to sway the bishop here. He's 80 years old. He's actually infirm now, but you know, he controls access to the church's taxes and levies, so we really don't have any choice despite his age to keep on trying to improve opinion with him, because you know he has all the whole body stuff. He went down that one health perk branch route, which does result in him living quite a long time sometimes. So we just gotta keep on working on this guy. So we can spend 75 prestige to try and get some opinion here, which is, you know, this is the whole purpose of why we're doing this. So makes sense to try and do whatever we can. I do want to see where we're at now with that. So we're at 27, so still got to keep on working on them. We are getting some of those taxes and levies now. So I did set up these two alliances before we started here. So this is the Prince of Hungary. So remember, he's married to our sister, and he is set to inherit the kingdom once his father dies. His father's still pretty young though, at 45. So yeah, we'll just have to see what happens there. And then we also set up an alliance with our nephew in Luxembourg, since his father was deposed. And the regent changed here. So the queen, or the empress mother, is no longer in control. But hopefully we'll be able to just make ourselves the regent. There was a new faction created against the Kaiser. It's a Liberty faction. Okay. And also we got an improved opinion with Princess Ida here. Okay. So we got invited to the council. About time. Our character has not been on his liege's council at all. Now, of course, we were rivals with his father, so that kind of explains why. But he actually wants to appoint us as the marshal. Of course, we'd prefer to be the spy master, but we're just going to take whatever position he grants us here. And that does give us some nice bonuses as well. Just go and show those. We're getting that prowess. The army gold maintenance is what is really going to help us here, because we need money, and our army is what's costing us so much. And then also we get increased levy size too. We also got the second trade event for our younger brother, Wolfgang. And so he's got the callous trades. We could instead change him over to just or greedy. I think we're going to go with greedy. We're just going to make him really great at stewardship. That's the goal here. So stewardship should be at 12 now. Or maybe not. Oh, that didn't increase the stewardship. I think just would have increased the stewardship. Instead, this increases his monthly income. I see. So we could have went with the just as well. And is this another faction created? Yes, it is. And this is actually to install somebody else on the throne, which is interesting, because we didn't have that option available when we were looking at the factions. We weren't able to install ourselves, or anybody else for that matter. That's interesting. You can also completely dissolve the HRE. All faction members become independent. That'd be kind of crazy. Okay, so we have another person in the independence faction. This is the Duke of Upper Burgundy has joined. So I think it's because we got a boy emperor right now, and that's really what the problem is currently. This Prince Herman, who the hell is he? Well, he's of the Salian dynasty. He doesn't have any titles. Okay. So it looks like he's the brother of George, therefore the uncle of Arnulf. So clearly we need to gain control of the empire soon before the whole thing falls apart. Or maybe we want it to fall apart. I'm going to event here the negotiator. During my afternoon stroll down the streets of Nancy, my daughter Adelheid runs up to me. Father, they just started swinging at one another when she is interrupted by a high-pitched shriek, turning our attention to the fight down the street. The combatants appear to be a couple of pages from my court, circling each other in preparation for another tussle. So we can say break it up, both of you. We'll gain the, well, 5% chance. We'll get the firm hand, Herc here. This is monthly prestige for dread. We're going to get prestige no matter what. Or we can say enticing, unlike to bet on it. This is a learning challenge. 46% chance that we will win it. 53% chance we lose. Or Adelheid, help them mediate. Okay, so this would improve her diplomacy education and also increase her opinion. I think we're just going to break it up ourselves. Could go with this one, but we don't have any money to bet. And so while we might want to bet as a callous character, we just don't have the money for it. It'd be incredibly irresponsible for us to do so. Because we're just now getting out of debt. We've been in debt almost our entire rule here. One thing I did want to show you guys is that we can form the Kingdom of Sicily, which would be really awesome, because then we'd be the rightful liege down here, which we actually get a penalty because we're not the rightful liege of that one powerful duke. But in addition to that, we'd be able to declare these wars down here if we wanted to get control of these other titles. And we'd have a third kingdom, so it makes sense to do so. But we gotta have 425 gold, so not something we can do at the moment. Also, there is a feast we could have went to. And our cousin is imprisoned here by the Kaiser. That's interesting. And that was one of our agents as well. So I don't know if that actually weakened it at all. Let me just take a look. I mean, I think this is the max we can get. Yeah, 85% is the max for abducting a child here. So I don't think there's going to be any consequences of losing agents for some time just because we have so many agents involved in that. So we could go to this hunt here. Yeah, why not? He's a deceitful character. I don't know if we could trust him, but gives us something to do, and frankly, we need to burn off some stress pretty bad here, so let's do a relaxing hunt, and our goal will be recreation. Although we might also enjoy slaying the beast, and you get, you know, the stress reduction, even if you don't do the recreation. You just don't get those recreation events. Alright, so the hunt is kicking up here, and it looks like we were able to sway the Prince Bishop, finally. Good God, that took forever. So we got him above 50. And I don't see that moving outside of like some kind of penalty. So let me just take a look. Damn, another agent was removed from this game. Oh, the Bohemian King. Well, that could be become a problem. So let's take a look at that. So we're still 85-85 because again, we still have 9 agents. So not a problem here. And not a good chance to take them up any higher. And, you know, let's just go and stop that. Maybe we'll work on somebody else. So, of course, we're never going to be very good at this. It's just not our forte, talking to people and making them like us. But we can try and sway the Duke of Flanders. We have a much better chance of being successful there. And we need a guardian for our daughter. Okay. So she's charming, and she's currently set to diplomacy, but we already have a daughter doing diplomacy education. So let's do something different here. We'll do the intrigue. And unfortunately, we can't train ourselves because we already have 2 children, our brother and our son. So we'll have to find somebody else that can educate her. Let's just see what options we have. I suppose, well, our wife is good learning, and that is important. And I guess she's the best in both these areas right now. Yeah, I suppose we'll just have our wife do it. I think she's currently educating. Oh, I thought she was, but she's not. Okay, so yeah, we'll have her educate. Why is she not a choice here? That's interesting. Yeah, that's just Berta's the only choice. Not entirely sure. Let me go back to her. Do we need to? No? I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, guys, because everybody else is traveling, so you can't even select anybody else to see if they would be an option. But yeah, she's clearly not an option here for our wife. I don't know. I don't know what's happened there. We'll give it a little bit of time here. There's got to be a reason, you'd think. Did that war already break out? Looks like it did. Just a rebellion here. So let me just take a look exactly how that... I suppose we could do it through here, how this faction looks. Because I'm curious. Oh, is this a different conflict? That's not that faction. Okay, so I thought it was a faction. This is actually Pomerania. So this is not the first time she's been at war with the Emperor. But this is over this particular county here. I don't know if he'll win this. He has 6,000 troops, but so does she. She has an ally with another 2,700, while he doesn't have any powerful allies, it looks like. So you'd think that she would win that. Yeah, this is just, it's a period of weak emperors, as we're seeing it kind of fall apart. So we did get this mark of distinction, since more people now know our dynasty. Okay, so it's now a masterwork. I don't know if we need to replace it or if it's going to stay placed here. Let's just take a look. It seems, because I think it's this one here, yeah. Seems that it is still in place, but we might want to move it. Yeah, we'll flip those, even though it's irrelevant, basically. Doesn't really matter. And I'm not entirely sure what happened here. It looks like he lost his fortification rights granted. Right, whoever this duke is, the Duke of Salerno. Oh, that's interesting. So he used to be underneath this duke here, Duke Drogo, but then he created his own duchy. I see what happened there. So let me just take a look at his current contract. Okay, so I mean, this is really what we want to see happen. We want to see these guys weakened, because they're a little too powerful, I feel. Yeah, he formed himself a duchy, and now he's a direct vassal of ours. And, oh, that's interesting. What did he give us? The duchy of Alsace. Okay, so that will result in us having too many duchies again. We have 1, 2, 3 of them now. And so, yeah, we will be getting that penalty here. When you look over it, we'll have the negative 15 for too many duchies. So we do need to grant one of these out again. So this one here, I was planning on granting this out. I don't know who would give it to. Probably this guy, I assume. It does give him the right to Lisboa, though, which I actually don't want to grant him at the moment. So let me just see if this is one we actually want to grant out. Does it give us rights to anybody who's not in our empire as well? That's something to consider. Or not within our kingdom, I mean. Because, yeah, I think these guys here are all within, or at least this guy is within that duchy. That's kind of an interesting situation here. Because I think one of these counties, yeah, here is owned by this guy. And he rightfully is not under us. He should be under this duke here. And so we're actually getting a penalty with him because he wants that, but I don't want him to get control of this too, as we'd have to take that from him, which he doesn't like us. He's also a powerful vassal who's not on the council. So another thing to consider there. But then the other interesting thing here is that one of our counties is part of that duchy, so we'd have to give it up. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's the best thing to do here. Maybe just hold on to it and take the negative 15 opinion, I think, for right now. Could destroy the title too, but I really want to get control of this guy. Let me just see who that is under. I don't know if he actually can grant it out. So it looks like our scheme is finally ready. The agents are in position to let in a small group of people in the middle of the night and to cover them as they depart undetected, ideally while muffling the screams of a kicking burlap sack. Alright, so I like the sound of this plan. Let's see if it works out, and it did. I cannot believe it worked. It was as simple as letting some of my allies into the castle in the middle of the night. Kaiser Wilhelm is no doubt kicking himself over the poor security. Thankfully, it's a lot better where he is now. I hope he likes his new quarters. So we've imprisoned the Kaiser. So what we want to do is make sure that he is in house arrest. We don't want him in the dungeon because that would be dangerous for him. There's not a lot we can do here with him in the prison. You know, if you demand an artifact, he would say no because his military is still stronger than yours. You really shouldn't be able to do anything because he's in your prison. But of course, then you could kind of just use this, abuse it, and just keep demanding the artifacts because it doesn't actually require that you let him go. And so it's not like you could say, give me this artifact and then I'll release you. And so I can see why they don't let you do that. But you are a bit limited here. The main use of this, besides the fact that he can't operate against us because he's in prison, so we can kind of do whatever we want. Also, he gets all those penalties for having the house arrest. Well, the main benefit here is that we could do our faction press demands, and we'd have him arrested so we win immediately, and so we don't even have to fight a war in order to gain independence. And so that's really the main benefit here, that it'd be really easy to declare independence. And of course we already know that other vassals are going to break off with us, these two here. Yeah, I think we're going to hold on to him for now, but it is a risk when he's in house arrest because he might escape. And, you know, who knows what he'll do then after we seized control of him. And we did fail our hunt, unfortunately, but we'll still get some of that stress loss. And so that'll be helpful. And another war was just declared. Looks like that's a rebellion as well. I mean, he's such a weak emperor. But yeah, we got rid of some of that stress, so that's what's important here. Also got a bunch of experience as well, so that's pretty helpful. And we've already arrived back home because it wasn't very far. So let me just take a look at that hunter trait. I mean, we still got a long way to go on that one. Same with all the Hassaluder ones. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I feel like we're gonna have to travel somewhere to be able to pull up our liege's thing there. I don't recall how to do it. You'd think you would be able to try and like demand that we're the regent. But I'm not seeing any options for it. The only way I know you do it is, or at least I think you could do it, is when you have your own regency. So maybe we'll go to something. And then, yeah, we're not going to be able to do a grand tour. We don't have any money. But yeah, maybe we'll go to something again. I know we just got back from something. You can also ransom him for 500 gold. He's worth a lot, because he's an emperor. Okay, so nothing new here. But yeah, if we go to like a hunt or something like that, and we are going to decline this. We're going to keep him locked up. Of course, if he escapes, then we'll wish we had. Hey, that peasant rabble has disbanded. But yeah, we'll wish that we had taken that 500 gold. So it looks like Duke Gerard is now old enough to marry. All right, fantastic. So he's marrying our sister. Let's go and send that off. And they will be of our dynasty as well. He does not like us, like at all. Yeah, he really dislikes us because he wants those counties. I see. I mean, these are rightfully his, but we're not going to give them to him, so we're just going to have to take that opinion penalty. What we could do to try and improve the opinion a little bit, though, is put him on the council if he's decent at all. I don't know if he's good at anything. We just have this mayor here in the chancellor position, so I could see appointing him there. Also, just a mayor in the stewardship, in the steward position, so you could appoint this count there for now. Oh, that's right. This is the mayor who forced himself on the council with that strong hook. And so we can't remove him. Also can't attempt to assassinate him either because he's got a strong hook. He is 57, so we'll see how long he lives, but it's unfortunate. So you can't replace him there, but we could go ahead and replace the chancellor with Duke Gerard, and I think we should. So we'll do that, and then we'll probably keep the marshal here because this guy sucks. I want to make him the steward, but we had to wait till the mayor dies, basically. Now, of course, if we were to give him up, then he wouldn't be the powerful vassal anymore. Somebody else would be in that position. I don't know who that would be. And our wife is pregnant again. Okay, interesting. I mean, we are still both very young. We've had only the 4 children so far, and only one of those has been a boy. Also just got an intrigue perk, so we'll have to take a look at that. And what is this? Oh, this is our sway attempter. Well, we're not going to do it for any gold. Yeah, we just can't really afford that at the moment. We have other things we want to do with our gold. And again, we lost opinion with the Prince Bishop, unfortunately. Okay, so we'll let the scheme complete since we're working on it, and maybe we'll try and boost him again. It's unfortunate we lost some probably from the sway because it's going to go down. So just getting it at 50 is not good enough, but it's such a low chance of succeeding there. So we'll go with the disrupt scheme's effectiveness plus 50%. I guess we don't have a plot going right now, so you don't really need to have him supporting schemes. I think we should find secrets, and what we could do is try and force somebody into our faction. Let me just take a look at what Rebellion's Emperor is currently facing, because I know there's this new one here. Yeah, here's that new one, and it looks like he's losing this, so he might not be the Emperor for very long. We might have to, like, fight to keep him on the throne. Because I actually don't want the Salian dynasty to return. Yeah, we really don't want them to, so yeah, we might have to fight to keep him on the throne as we have him in prison. So kind of silly. I don't even know if you can support him in his wars while he's sitting in your prison. So we just have some boy here who's essentially just a duke. So if he's about to lose, then at that point you'd want to ransom him off and get the 500 gold. It's really the only choice. But yeah, we should be able to offer to join the war, right? Let's take a look. Yeah, even though he's in our prison, we can still join the war. There doesn't seem to be any restrictions when it comes to joining your liege's war, but that's something to pay attention to, guys, because we really don't want him to lose that conflict. Alright, so we almost choked on this food here. I suppose we got lucky there. Alright, so he removed us from Emperor. He really shouldn't be able to do that when he's in our prison. Really, he shouldn't be able to act against us in any form or fashion when he's sitting in our prison, I feel. Okay, well. Oh, okay, so now he's going to invite us as the Chancellor. I don't really want to be the Chancellor, honestly. I think we're going to decline that. I assume what happened is somebody forced him, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Like somebody forced their way onto the council. I think we were the Marshal. There's no way he appointed this guy, this Duke here, with his 2 Marshal. So yeah, he clearly forced himself into the council. He's in that faction with us for independence as well. And I didn't forget that I was going to try and get some secrets, because yeah, we want to try and force somebody to join us. Who though? The Duke of Swabia is already in rebellion, and you know, he's gonna, if he loses that, he won't be able to join our faction. That won't work. You could do the Duke of Bavaria if you really want to weaken him the most. Then it makes a lot of sense to do the Duke of Bavaria, I suppose. We could also do him, and he'll be old enough soon. So yeah, let's see if we can't find a secret here in his capital. And after that, you could work on Bavaria. But yeah, I'm not really interested in coming in as the Chancellor. So I think we're going to decline on that front. Yeah, let's decline. Maybe he'll give us a different position. There's a lot of other ones that would be much better. So what I wanted to see, again, if we can get access to our lieges. His Regency screen. So this would be probably a good one to go to, right? Because it's only 41 days to get there. It's a hunt. Yeah, let's do that. And we could always use more stress reduction as well. So we'll head over to that, and that'll open up our own Regency screen. And then from there, you can go to the liege's power sharing. I just don't know how you do it otherwise. You think there's got to be some way to open it. I know there is. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to look around when we don't have this up. Maybe, let me just take a look. If you click on, maybe you click on who your regent would be, then that option, because it's open now, but that's because she is the regent right now. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, guys. So maybe that's why we don't even have an option trying to ask to become the regent, because I think there's a way to ask, but just because we're not even in line to be the regent, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense since we're a king. I understand Bohemia is also a king, and so yeah, I suppose, although this is not. This is Prince Bishop here. So even the king of Bohemia seems he has the yeah, he has a claim to Bohemia, but yeah, he's not even the king here. And so it's interesting that none of the kings in the HRE were possible for the regents. Here's our line for the regency, by the way, if you're curious. Ugh, that mayor or steward could put himself in that position. He's got that strong hook on us. Yeah, that'd be terrible. Okay, so right now our spouse is in place, and we don't have to worry about that. But now we've seen it. I need to find out a way to be able to open that reliably. And somebody's trying to murder this character here, our wet nurse. Why? Who knows? She has a child here. Maybe... Well, it's not a bastard child, it's just a lowborn child. Okay, even though he doesn't have a father, so that's kind of weird. Okay. I don't know why they want to kill her. Sure, there's a story there, we just don't know. We just don't know what it is. Alright, so we're at the hunt. Again, main purpose here is to reduce stress. So we're going to keep it on recreation since it's not one of the hunts where we can... You know, it's one of the falcon ones, so we can't attempt to slay the beast. So we did reduce our stress a lot from that hunt. We're down to 0 now. But our regent, our spouse, furthered the mandate and got us 165 gold. That did, of course, tip the scales of power towards her. And it was abuse of power, so it caused strife. But yeah, 165 gold. So we're closer to that 425, so we can create that new kingdom. Also, we've got something happening here in the royal court. Is this about the inspirations? Yeah. Well, let me just take a look at these. So she's competent. What about this guy? He's a master, so it makes most sense to do him then. And he wants to get his new armor, so why not? Yeah, we'll go and do that. We'll have to spend a lot of this money that I've been saving, but yeah, it's fine. I think it's worth it to try and get some new armor. Because, you know, our character does not have much in his inventory currently. Just that weapon, you know, the dagger that we got a while ago, and some trinkets. Not much here. Alright, so we have to pick what type of armor we want. I think we're going to go with the... I think we're going to go with the flexible armor here. Flashy. Not flashy, but dependable. We're able to sway the Duke. Remember, we are going to go ahead and go back to attempting to sway Prince Bishop here. Probably going to have a lot of difficulty doing that. 24%, so not a high chance. Well, there's just so much money to be had there, and the levies, of course, as well. And it looks like we had another daughter. And Beatrix is her name? Oh, is this her aunt? Yeah. Who passed, looks like, a while ago. Yeah, sure. I'm fine with that. She can be Beatrix. No issues there with that name. Remember, we do need to be following along with these wars here. Seems that he is winning this one, so we might not have to get involved. So that's good. He is going to lose that county. He'll lose it very soon. He's also going to lose that artifact, though that war's been going on forever. That's a long, long conflict. Alright, so still trying to get that 410 or whatever it is. We can add an inspiration. This would be a way to boost Prince Bishop's opinion. So do you just add both of the names? Because I'm seeing they're both on here. It looks like you're just saying that you're dedicating it to your trustworthy vassals and advisors. So yeah, you can boost both of their opinions. Those are, I mean, it's helpful, but this guy's like, I mean, he should die soon, you'd think. He's 82. Watch him live to like 100. Could say, after all, why not? To myself. Or dedications are overrated anyways. They really are overrated, aren't they? Yeah, we'll just do that one. And we did not uncover any secrets. Okay, so we're just going to have him continue there. Maybe we'll get lucky. Now, he did lose that war, which we already knew he was going to, so he lost his county here. And the empire just continues to get weaker under these weak emperors. Could construct buildings a little bit cheaper. Again, I really feel like creating that kingdom is our best option. Finally, Bishop Udo has died. I'm glad I didn't dedicate that item to him just to get that. So yeah, that's excellent. We now have a new Prince Bishop. He also does not endorse us, and he very much dislikes us actually. But he doesn't have a strong hook on us, so that's what matters. So let's attempt to sway him, and we have a much better chance to be successful at swaying him. So we got that information brokering event where you can basically sell a secret if you want. And none of these characters are ones we even know. But yeah, he murdered this countess here. But yeah, we don't know who they are, so we could sell it. And it's useful. It's intrigue, lifestyle, experience points in addition to the money that we really need. We could get a weak hook that's probably not as useful. Or you can get this hoarding secrets, just gives you that intrigue. And it's only for 5 years. So clearly the money is the best option here. So let's go ahead and sell that. And that, if he agrees, will grant us that money that we needed. All right, fantastic. So what we want to go ahead and do here now is create this kingdom, Kingdom of Sicily. So we'll go through here and do it. 425. And so that's our third kingdom title now. And so this will make it so we're the rightful liege here and no longer getting the penalty with all these Italian vassals. But in addition to that, we can now declare war for these titles or just demand their vassalage, which doesn't look like they're willing to accept. But they are more likely to accept. I mean, this guy's not. It's not even the same religion as us. So you have to grant them religious exemption, which he wouldn't even accept. But it does make them more likely to accept when you have their kingdom title, but I don't see too many people being excited about becoming our vassal. Yeah, I don't see too many people wanting to accept that. Is there another war against the Duke here? Yeah. And look at him, he's all scarred up. Poor boy, he's only 6 years old, wounded, dealing with this war. It's against his tyranny. So if he loses this, if he surrenders here, he'll be deposed. So who's going to take over that title? That's the question. It's going to be his sister. Jeez, we might actually have to like help out in this war some way. Let me just take a look if I can like demand the end to the war. He's not our vassal, so he might not be able to, because usually it's just when it's two vassals of yours, you can demand the end of the conflict. He is our ally, though. Can we just join the war? No, only if it's a peasant faction. Damn. Yeah, the problem is that these dukes are just too weak. Yeah, that's a real shame. Okay, so we got the last trade event for Wolfgang. It looks like it's bravery or wrathful. It'd be funny to have him be wrathful, because then he's a stubborn, greedy, angry dude. And so that would be funny, but we're just going to let him keep the brave trade, because I don't really feel like taking the stress for that. And so our brother now has all of his traits. And which education did he go down? Because it might be wise for us at this point to hand him off to somebody else, because he's doing the stewardship and we're not exactly great at stewardship or at learning for that matter. And so you can hand him off to somebody else now that he has all the traits. Or you can keep him as is. It doesn't really matter that much because he's not going to be in our realm for now anyways. Because remember, he is set to marry the Duchess of Lombardy, and they are free from the HRE. But maybe eventually down the line you can add them into your kingdom. So Mystery of the Scriptures is the first trade event for our son and heir Gerard. It looks like it is. So the options are cynical, humble, or content. I suppose we could have him be cynical. Though he is going down the learning education, but maybe that's fitting. It means he wouldn't go with the religious stuff, the religious branch of that tree. Instead, he'd go with something else. We could make him humble instead. But yeah, we'll just go with the cynical. That could be an interesting route to go. And then we wouldn't go down the theological branch there. And Arnulf of Solm has died. So he was our marshal. He was our marshal. So we need to replace him. And, you know, we still got this fantastic knight who could do the job here. There's not a whole lot of options for high-ranking people. So you could give the Duke this position. Yeah, I guess you could give him that position. He would make a good spy master, too. Yeah, I guess we'll give it to him. Though, of course, you know, if you fire him, you're going to irritate him. We almost have the control increase there in those bow. That'll be in 10 months. And we have already finished converting the province as well. So they are now Catholic. Good Catholics here. And a couple of these locations have been converted. So I guess our next goal will be to do the war here. We were waiting to do that. And then I needed the money first, and then I decided to do the Kingdom of Sicily. And so, you know, we've been getting distracted here. But I did want to see if there's any other options here with the Independence faction, if anybody else had joined. So the Duchess of Verona is now a part of it, while Piedmont is not. Probably because he died. Yeah, he's dead. Okay. So again, we do need to follow along with this war, make sure he wins that. He's at 25%. I think this should be a pretty small conflict, so there's no reason why we can't go ahead and declare war now. So we'll be declaring war on this guy. Does he have an ally? No, he has a truce. So again, should be a nice, easy conflict. And this is going to be for the entire duchy as well. So let's go ahead and declare war. And then we will want to raise our troops up. So we have not done a lot of war in this series. Quite a bit different from past ones. You know what? We cannot cross the river there. We'll have to cross right here. Let's go and move it over there. And then we're only going to raise up the men-at-arms for this conflict. There's really no reason to raise up any more than that. As far as the commander, we currently have him as the organizer. I don't think that's the best option. I think it'd probably be better to have Count Aubrey in charge here. Not entirely sure why he got picked out of all of them. Yeah, we'll have him in charge. We're just going to turn this down to 4. And then we'll invade across the river here. And we did get another council invitation. This time it's again for the marshal position here. We're just standing here with our army. I didn't have it paused while I was looking at this. We're going to go and accept that. We'll take that position. It's really just the chancellor that I didn't want to accept. So this is an inspiration event. So basically our vassal, this count here, wants to contribute towards the creation of this armor. Because he's generous. Yeah. And so you say how generous. And it might be improved in quality. Again, instead just take the money and keep it for ourselves. But yeah, we want good armor here. So yeah, we'll take the money and grant it to him. But let's go ahead and get these troops marching because they've just been standing here. Costing us money. So where is his army? Seeing a lot of troops there, but those are not his troops. Okay, so he actually has a much larger army than I was expecting. He's supposed to only have like 700 dudes. That's interesting. He's sitting on the hills right now, so it's best to just do the siege here first and let him attack us. Because he can't get to our lands without either marching all the way down here or going through us. I assume once the siege is getting close to finishing up, he'll attack us there. So we did get invited to this Duke's... Where's he at? Okay. So yeah, we could attend his hunt. It's 2 months away. We are starting to work on getting that hunter trait built up. So why not? We'll join his hunt because we're not actually doing anything with this conflict. A little bit of danger there. Not too worried about it though, guys. So hopefully this war won't take us too long. It looks like the Emperor's War is not going as well as it was. I really hope that turns around. I don't want to have to help him with that. It would be best if we didn't have to. Cost us money. Learned of somebody else's secret here. So remember, this is all in his court. These are not the secrets that we're looking for. However, y'all know I do like giants. So perhaps we could use it, I guess we gotta blackmail him first, to force him into our court. If he's willing to accept it, it is a 100% chance, so he should. And these damn travel events here doesn't really matter, guys. So yeah, we don't really care. You can eat it if you want, guy. We don't care enough to stop him. We did get that hook on him. And so let's see if we can't get him into our court. Yeah, you don't even have the option to ask him to come to your court. Oh, I didn't realize he was a vassal. Okay. Yeah, he's a count here. I didn't even see that. I guess that makes sense with him being married. Usually if they're just courtiers, they won't be married. But yeah, I didn't even see that. So yeah, that's not even an option. You still got the hook on him. There's not really anything to do with that hook, though. Unless you, like, force his daughter to marry somebody. You got a Liberty faction that was just created against us, the Duke of Salerno. So that's that new Duke. And he's already starting to cause problems here. Alright, so that's not good. I did want to see if anybody's joined ours. Nope. So as of right now, it's just the one, but we can expect probably more to join. I think we have lost a bit of dread. So we did get an intrigue perk, so that'll allow us to get the prepared for anything. So this just makes it more difficult for anybody to do hostile schemes against us. So pretty useful. Now, remember, with the Emperor currently a boy, we are limited in what all we can ask of him and do with him. So when he becomes a man, some of the options might open up a bit, you know, with us still having him in the prison. If he lasts that long, since there is a war to remove him. Though, again, I'd probably get involved if it came down to it. At least you know he can't be seized and arrested, because he can't lead his troops, so when they can't lead their dudes, they, you know, are easy to capture if you just go to their capital. And so there's at least that. We do get the finished inspiration here. It's a famed armor. So we're going to want to put that on. We'll take a look at it as well here, since it doesn't automatically place this stuff anymore. I'm not entirely sure why. So we do have a problem with the durability of our dagger, and a big part of this is because we don't have anybody appointed to do that for us. So we might want to take a look at that, you know, maintaining our equipment. So this is going to increase our prowess by 8. It's going to increase our prestige and also give us a controlled territory defender advantage. So pretty nice there. So now we got a pretty decent prowess, something our character was never really great at before, but it's not too bad at this point. So let's go ahead and take a look at that position of antiquarian and see if there's anybody decent we might want to appoint. I suppose we could appoint Peter here. He's the one who just did that armor for us, so why not? That'll help. And then, you know, once you get the money, maybe you could do repair the dagger. I don't know if it's worth it. It's not the greatest dagger. It looks like it's not going to be very expensive either, though, to repair. Yeah, it's only 38 gold, so why not? That'll last for 30 years now. So he did not attack us during the siege, surprisingly. And Magnus was taken prisoner. Yeah, that's right. They're going to lose those titles over there. God, yeah, such a bummer that it's going down that way. But it is nice that Gerard is going to improve his education. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the boy is going to lose his title here. Yep, very close to losing it. So we handed it off to our dynasty over there. And it's just, I mean, it's still going to be under our dynasty for now. But you got to basically find, to keep it in the dynasty, you have to find a matrilineal marriage. And this is one of those instances where it would be good to do a matrilineal marriage. Unless you're going to marry, like, have her marry cousins or something. But I don't think we have anybody to do that with, because we obviously wouldn't want it to be the marriage with our son. Yeah, I don't think that's good. So, yeah, we'll just force a matrilineal marriage. Maybe, remember, they're going to leave the court, so they got to be somebody who we're not making use of, just like a regular old courtier. And they do need to be, let's actually specify this, they need to be not lowborn. I don't think we'd marry this, you know, young lady in our dynasty here to somebody who wasn't, you know, somebody who wasn't a noble. And so probably somebody who's not too old either, because she's only 10. And so you're going to want, you know, sort this by age here. Want to find somebody who's younger, and there's really not any options. I guess you could do this boy here. She's only 7 years older than him. I don't know who he is. Let me just take a peek here. Okay, I mean, what's important is that he is a noble. He's not anybody significant. Yeah, I think that's really the best option. So this will be that matrilineal marriage. And this will ensure, at least for now, that it stays in our dynasty's hands, but she'll likely face a rebellion too. The problem is that these dukes are just too weak. That's really what it comes down to. They have counties, baronies, but yeah, they just haven't been able to hold on to their territory here for some reason. Because we've seen duke after duke there lose their titles. Alright, so we won the war, or excuse me, won the siege. The war is still ongoing here. But now he's going to attack us. And so we'll be on the defense here. I'm not going to get any actual defensive bonuses there, but we outnumber him. He has no other choice, I suppose. So after that battle, that might actually be the winning of the war. Remember, we're still doing this hunt here as well. So yeah, this battle I'm hoping will end it. So yeah, we'll do the fly falcon. And this is going to help reduce the stress, which we have a little bit here. And there's a chance we'll get prestige. Success chance for the falcon ones are always low, so I don't expect that's going to matter much, because you're probably going to fail. And it looks like that's the end of the war right there. Okay. We also captured some enemy combatants too. Let's take a look at the battle, how things went here, how our knights did. Of course, our old Norse knight here, despite his age, is still the best one that we got. And let me just take a look at who killed this knight. So that was Ubert. We do have an aging knighthood here. A lot of our knights are pretty old. Something to think about. So yeah, let's go and enforce our demands here. Get back our rightful titles here. These were rightfully ours. I'm not entirely sure how we lost them in the first place. But we don't actually gain control of him. He's just underneath us. So let's disband our troops. And see what we can do here. You can demand his conversion. He might accept. But he also might demand something in return. It's always a chance. Let me see his vassal contract. Well, you can't even look at that. Let me just see here. We are his rightful liege. It probably just hasn't updated yet. Maybe give it a couple days here, since we just won that conflict. Okay, so yeah, now you can change these here, but that's it. Yeah, we're still not his rightful liege, which is interesting, because these are within our kingdom. I suppose we're not his duke. Yeah, this is his main title. Yeah, we're not his duke. Nobody holds that duchy. We gave it out, but then I assume it was destroyed or something like that because he didn't actually hold those titles. So let's go and demand his conversion. If we had a hook on him, which you can fabricate, that's always an option, 90% chance, and then you can kind of force him to convert. I think that would probably be important to our character to some degree. We're not the most religious person, but yeah, you'd still want him to convert. Yeah, I think this is what we'll do. You can also use this to take a title from him, though, too, so that'd always be an option. Let me just ask him if he'll do the conversion. If he says no, then that's fine. That might allow us to arrest him, actually. Hunt fails, not surprising. So he says he's only willing to accept if we give him a hook, which I don't want to do. And so instead, we're just going to go with this option, which it is a crime, and so therefore we can arrest him, which does force us to go back to war with him, though, so. But it is a 100% chance of imprisoning him. That's interesting. Because he's terrified of us? Yeah, that's a big part of it. Okay, so yeah, let's go and imprison him for the crime. Justice has been sought. Also, our niece was released from prison and our brother. Okay, so I'm guessing he lost that war. Yep. So now his sister has been put in place here. And what's funny is that he's her heir. And so she gets removed. It's just going to bounce back and forth between these two characters. So I don't really feel bad that one reason why they're so weak is that we continue to weaken them. We increase their taxes with the hooks, because we now have another hook on her, so we can increase her taxes as well and get even more money. I don't feel bad about this at all. We're causing them further problems here. We gotta pay taxes. We need money. This is legit. We need money, guys. Alright, so we now have this guy in prison here. We brought him all the way back here already. That was quick. So now that he's in prison, there's a lot of things you can do. Of course, we could just force him to convert. But I think we should go ahead and take some of these titles away. I think he already has too much power here as it is. So let's go ahead and take a title. Though, I'm not actually seeing the revoke a title being an option because we have a truce with him. Oh yeah, because we did just end that war. So that truce is going to last for some time. 11-18. So we'd have to hold him in prison that entire time. Yeah, that's a real shame, but I think it's going to be have to be what we do, guys. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense here. However, if you execute him, we're the primary heir. He has no heir. Okay, never mind. We don't need to do any of that. We can just execute him. That's dreadful. Why? I guess because it's not a crime that you can kill him for. You can only imprison him and revoke his titles. But would our dreadful character here, callous, dreadful character, really care about getting some tyranny, particularly when it's barely any tyranny? Most people don't seem to care that much. So yeah, let's go ahead and execute him, and then we'll just inherit all his titles, which are rightfully ours anyways. Also, we got some artifacts from him. Okay. So we'll have to take a look at that, see if it's better than our current trinkets. I mean, we have some that aren't all that great, so I would assume that there would be, I mean, like this one's here is probably not as good. It's a stress gain reduction and hostile scheme resistance. And I think that one's definitely better than these other ones here. So yeah, we'll go ahead and replace this one with the animal figurine. Alright, so now we have a bunch of titles to grant out. And so essentially what we might want to do at this point is to create like a new Duke here. Now we don't have the money, so it's 212, so we'd have to wait to create the actual duchy. One thing to consider, this is the Kingdom of Aponte, so you might want to hold on to this title rather than this one, you know, which is the later capital of Portugal. You know, it is still in this kingdom, of course. But yeah, could do that. Let me just take a look. The development's 14 here. What's the development here? It's much, much higher. So you might want to like grant this out. Maybe, I don't know, maybe keep this one here. There's a lot of options. But yeah, it feels like this, I know we've worked really hard though, getting the control up here, which we almost have up, and converting them. So yeah, it's going to be hard to give that one up for this one here. But this is where the duchy building is. It makes the most sense for us. I guess this one's a duchy building too, because this is a separate duchy. But you could grant this one out to like this character or something like that, or this one. There's a couple different options really. Yeah, Count Aubrey has served us well for quite some time. He also has, two daughters. She's already a countess. So you might not want, yeah, because that would go to his family. Okay, so you might not want to give it to him. Yeah, that wouldn't work out well. You know what? This could create a problem, period. Because that is his heir. Yeah, I think that's going to create a problem. Now, I don't think he can inherit it right now, but yeah, it's something to consider. So we probably don't want to grant it to him because of that reason. Because he doesn't have a son and his wife. Well, she is really young. Those are not, this is a new wife. So there's a good chance he could have a son before he dies. So a lot of factors to consider here, but there's also this character here. He would always be an option. He's within this duchy. And then there's this character here as well, the Chaste. He does have a son. What about this guy? Okay, he just has daughters as well. But yeah, there are some options there. We do need to grant out the baronies here as well, but maybe we want to keep those if we're going to hand those off to somebody. I'm not entirely sure what we want to do here just yet. Let me know down in the comments what you're thinking. I kind of like the idea of keeping this one and then granting this one out, even if that does mean that we got to increase the development and we got to convert them. But yeah, maybe granting this one out and then doing the duchy, getting rid of this duchy here is what I'm thinking. I think that might be the best way to do it, guys. But let me know your guys' thoughts on it. But unfortunately, we do have to end the episode here. We are facing this dangerous faction, so we'll have to fight this. Next episode is a peasant rabble. But there's another faction here. A couple dukes have joined up in it. Oh, really? This guy. I was just thinking about giving you titles. Why would I give you titles if you're over here talking about rebelling against me? Alright, so yeah, we do have that little faction, not too powerful just yet. Something we do have to watch. And we got to continue to watch this war here, make sure that the Emperor doesn't lose it. The Emperor is currently 11 years old, so it's still got several years before he'll be of age. And we'll see what options open up there. But yeah, we could just declare our independence as well with that faction. That will result in us winning the war immediately. We don't even have to really fight it out. He'll probably just give in to our demands, actually. I don't know, we'll have to see. But there's not a lot of other people going with us, so that's something to consider. And then we're kind of sandwiched in between France and the HRE. So some people are worried that will result in us being attacked by both sides and having some real problems, and we might see what happened historically with the kingdom of Lotharingia, where it was swallowed up by its two neighbors on the east and the west. That's what happened historically to Lotharingia. There's 3 separate kingdoms here that we created. And Lotharingia did not last. While the western half eventually became France and the eastern half became, the HRE. Of course, that was many, many years later, but the middle did not. And so people were concerned that could happen to us as well. I don't know. I think we could maneuver ourselves into a good situation in independence. And plus, there's all these places to expand. We could expand here in Italy as well. Like if we wanted to take over Tuscany, that'd be an option. I don't know. A lot of things we could do, guys. I hope you did enjoy today's episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. We hope to see you on the next one. And thanks for watching.